Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Conan. Tonight's topic is wellness and vitality. And joining us still is Dr. Sunny A. Viloria. He's the medical director of BioVital Holistic Center. And joining us is Mrs. Remedios Fute, and she is a cancer survivor. Good evening, Dr. Viloria, and good evening, Mrs. Fute. Yes, ma'am. Welcome po to Philippines Uncut. Yes, ma'am. Let's have an introduction po, ma'am, about you. Tell us about your background and about yourself.
My first profession was a dietitian because I studied dietetics in the University of the Philippines, and then I went to the United States and worked there, and then I came back here. I worked as a catering manager, and then for Via Mare, and then I went to teaching.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then my husband died when I was here, so I went over to the United
He's
States.
famous actor?
Yes. Rick Rodrigo.
Rick Rodrigo, yes.
And anyway, I went after he died. I went to the United States and I taught there in Las Vegas,
Yes.
Nevada.
Yes. Now, Mrs. Fute, how did your health issues arise? What
Actually,
happened?
when I was still here,
Okay.
I felt a pain in my right breast,
Okay.
and then they told me to take mammogram, and then they said that there was a tumor there, and then when they biopsied it, it was malignant.
Okay. Okay.
So I went to Las Vegas and I had it removed.
Okay. Was
And
it?
then I worked there for about 6 years. Nothing happened, and then I was already a retirable age, so I came back to the Philippines to retire. And after 2.5 years, there was a growth.
So, so you went to Las Vegas. You had it removed, and for 6 years, nothing.
Nothing.
It was you were okay. You were well. You were
Yeah.
healthy, and then you came back to the Philippines.
Uh,
And after 2 years, there was a recurrence
Mhm.
of the
Yes.
tumor.
Mhm.
What happened po then?
and then I went to the doctor, and they told me they had to have an operation, and I don't want to have an operation right away. That's what the doctor said, operate right away, and I don't want to be operated on. So my son sent me to Las Vegas again, and the doctor there, the one who operated on me, decided to give me chemotherapy, aggressive chemotherapy, because when the first time I was operated on, it was stage 2. When I came back, it became stage 4. And so, and it has metastasized to the bones.
Mhm.
So therefore, they gave me an aggressive chemotherapy for 3 months, and then
What was that experience like po?
it
What
was
is,
it was terrible because I was constantly sick. I felt like throwing up, and then after when the cyst disappeared, they gave me radiation for 33 days.
So chemo for 3 months. I said aggressive chemotherapy.
Yes,
3 months, and then
radiation for 33 days.
Mhm.
And then after the radiation, they decided to give me Herceptin chemotherapy again. And I thought, oh my
Wow.
God, I couldn't take it anymore because I was getting sicker and sicker instead of getting well. So I decided to go home. I told the doctor, I say I'm going home.
Why did they do it? I mean, why chemo and then radiation, aggressive chemo, then radiation, and chemo again?
The
What was the
radiation,
reason?
so it won't grow back.
Okay, okay.
But they decided to get chemotherapy because they said that I was responding to Herceptin treatment.
Okay.
But I've been doing a lot of reading, and I know that chemotherapy is not good. It could kill the good cells. So I thought, well, if I'm going to die, I might as well die in the Philippines. I told the doctor that. And then besides, my sister was telling me, oh, there's an alternative medication here. You can take care of it. So I said, oh, well, I decided to try it.
What led you now to when you got back to the Philippines? What alternative treatments did you explore? Did you try?
My sister knew Dr. Viloria because my sister goes to see him. So I went over to see Dr. Viloria, and then he suggested that I take the laser biochilation and all that kind of treatment. And really, after taking the third day after I took the laser biochilation, I wasn't sick because after chemotherapy I was feeling sick.
Of
But
course.
after the biochilation, I was feeling stronger, and I could walk. I was no longer panting, because I just walk a little bit and I start to pant, And then
After the third day only.
yeah, and then I attended the seminar in Timberland, and you have to go up and down the mountain. And the first time I was there, I said, I can't do it. So they carried me.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but then the fourth day, I was able to walk up and down by
Imagine
myself.
that.
Somebody was just holding my hand.
Imagine that. So after coming from this tortuous, very tiring, very debilitating medical treatment, you had chemotherapy, radiation, and chemo again, and then you said you had a hard time walking.
Yeah.
You were panting already
yeah,
in a few steps.
But now I don't. I mean, I can walk anywhere and I can do a lot more things.
Amazing. And how do you feel? I mean, you obviously feel
Right
better.
now, I feel better.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I'm also taking herbs. He prescribed some herbs to me.
Yes.
So
How long have you been undergoing treatment with?
I think I saw him last September.
Okay, so about 4 months, going on 5 months thereabouts. About 4 or 5 months already. Great. So yes, I mean, very inspiring story, and you certainly are looking very well.
Well, thank you very much. I feel good.
Dr. Viloria, let's talk about what you did for Mrs. Pute. Let's talk about these treatments that she underwent.
Well, actually, the first time I saw her, I really don't like her color. And then I did a lot of cleansing.
What is her color like?
It's somewhat
Yellowish.
grayish.
Wow, well, this is far cry from how you look today, ma'am. Huh?
Then, because of the experience that she had lots of chemotherapy and radiotherapy. It produces more free radicals or toxins in the blood. So I did first a lot of cleansing. And that third day cleansing using laser biochilation, which cleanses the blood itself, and then the negative ion generator, which balances the flow of electricity we're talking about, and the beam ray, which kills selectively the cancer cells. It helped her a lot.
Okay, let's go this one by one, because you've thrown out a lot of big words, and it sounds all like Chinese to me. So let's talk about the first thing you did to Mrs. Pute. What was that? You said laser biochilation. What is laser biochilation?
Actually, this is the formula if you really want to be rejuvenated.
Okay.
Because the formula here is you should have more oxygen inside your body. And that's the foremost goal of that. It was invented in middle of 90s. No? It was brought here by a politician. And then even my parents were going to them already at that time. No? We were together with politicians and generals. And I can see immediately third, fourth session, they really get stronger. So
I mean, I mean, how does this work? You put an IV. I mean, like in case of Mrs. Pute, how do they treat you?
Laser is actually light amplified
Yes.
light. Now, laser right now is popular on dermatological problems. So it helps to cleanse or clear the skin.
Sure.
But it can also clear particularly the walls of your arteries. So when the wall of the arteries are clear, there will be better oxygenation. Second, it helps also in production of more hemoglobin or blood. So these two conditions will improve the circulation for the body, or the oxygenation for the body. And then the more you're going to feel younger, if you have more oxygenation for your body.
But how do you get a laser into your blood
IV.
stream? An IV.
Light.
Okay.
There's a certain, the laser actually, there's a certain light, but it's being passed through a stone. The stone emits different colors. No? Just like for her case, the one I'm telling about earlier is a Russian invention. Then the one she's having right now is also this time it's a German invention, where you're already using three kinds of lights, no? Which is the red, green, and blue.
Yes.
And each one has equality or capacity, just like your blue. It's specifically to kill the cancer cells. The green light to boost the immune system, and the red the same to increase the circulation for the whole body.
Now, you mentioned that it also strengthens or helps clear the artery walls. Now, when you say this, I'm thinking angioplasty.
Yes.
Now, can this also be used to treat,
Angioplasty or bypass
ischemia or
yes.
things like that?
Yeah. That's the first foremost reason why the laser biochilation was invented.
How many times have you taken to Mrs. Pute?
10 times.
10 times. You took this laser biochilation 10 times. Now,
10 consecutive days.
10 days. How long did it take for each time?
2.5 hours.
What was the experience like? It was
Actually,
pleasant?
It was a very pleasant experience. But of course, when they prick you, it hurts.
No one likes needles.
Yeah, I know. And then, but I could feel, the first day I was trying to find out what's going to happen. I could feel some warmth going up my arms and all the way to my cheeks. But then the second day, there was nothing.
Wow.
But the first time, I felt everything.
Yes. And you said, Doc, this can also be, to treat blocks in the heart.
In the heart,
So
not only in the heart,
invasive in the
but
sense.
the whole body itself. Even for stroke patients, we use that. When I went to Taiwan about 3 years ago, they have this under government or should we say veterans hospital.
Yes.
There's one big floor. All they have to do is provide the laser.
Wow.
Elation.
So it's big in some countries are really starting to
Yes.
adopt it in
Yeah.
a very mainstream kind of way
Yeah.
already.
Particularly socialized countries like Germany and Russia, they have it also, in Taiwan.
I noticed a lot of technology like this coming out of Russia. Why is that? How come Russia seems to be
Into research.
a big
They're more
source?
into research.
Yes, they have a big source of alternative
Mhm.
treatments that are proving to be successful.
Yes.
Yes. Then after you did laser biochylation to Mrs. Pute, you mentioned negative ion.
Generation.
Generation,
This time this is actually an Japanese invention,
Okay.
which will help to balance the flow of electricity. So there's actually electrical current flowing in her body, so you cannot touch her. Parehas kayo mag-ground.
So she was her state. She wasn't balanced.
Yes.
Like, I mean, her electric field wasn't balanced.
Yes, imbalanced.
Okay, when you first saw her, you said that she looked kind of gray.
Mhm.
What was your assessment? Where was the problem with Mrs. Pute?
We have another machine which is the natural executive checkup. No,
Okay.
it's a based from Chinese diagnostic that just through the pulse. I don't know if you have been to a Chinese doctor. Through the pulse,
Mhm.
it can be determined already which organ is failing.
I
So
actually,
that's my basis. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, so you have a machine that does this.
Yes.
Yes, I've actually been to Beijing where they do it manually,
Mhm.
where they feel your pulse and they look at your tongue and they
Yeah.
say that
You have
your
problem
liver,
with the
your
liver,
kidney,
yeah.
whatever like that. And
So that's already mechanical. We have that natural executive checkup.
so what is your diagnosis? Where was Mrs. Pute's problem coming from?
It's more for the liver. It's more for the hormonal imbalance.
And as you said, this negative ion generator,
Mhm.
this actually helped balance out her
Mhm.
electromagnetic field in her
If
body.
you have that machine, you know what you can do is Tai Chi or Chigo. You can see they do not have to so much effort, but rather just with the movements, sweep movement that can already improve the flow of electricity in the body.
Mrs. Pute, describe the experience of this negative ion generator.
Uh,
What did they do to you?
Actually strengthened me, and one thing that I forgot to tell you, I mean, after I took this laser biochylation, I was sleeping very soundly. You know, I had problems sleeping. After the 10 days, I didn't have any problem sleeping. As soon as I lie down, I fall asleep.
That's the side
Why is
effect.
that?
Well, that's the effect. That's the effect. That's usually the effect.
Yeah.
Even there are patients who are just having at the time the laser biochylation, they already slept at that time.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned beam ray technology. What is
Yes.
beam ray technology?
Beam ray technology is actually sound wave. In matter of sound, just like your ultrasound, in matter of sound, it's selective. We have to make timpla kung anong particularly will kill the cancer cells, particular type of bacteria.
Okay.
That's a technology also from US. That's even from Nevada.
Now, how does one undergo this beam ray technology? How is it?
They just have to listen
administered?
to a sound, particular sound,
Yes.
that's a certain
Really?
frequency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Describe the experience, Mrs. Pute, because
Yeah,
I'm
actually-
hearing it from Dr. Viloria, but I
No.
want to hear it from you.
No,
as a patient.
actually, at first I didn't know what to expect. I was really, really concentrating on what's going to happen. But, you know, everything was pleasant, you know. And I was even praying the rosary. I said, oh my God, what if something happens here? But nothing happened, you know.
Did you always believe in alternative therapy, alternative treatments?
No, I believed in it when my sister told me because I was getting tired of the chemotherapy. And instead of feeling better, I was feeling sicker. So I decided to try it.
So talagang you were
I
really
really
fed
like
up
it.
already with
No.
The way all these
You know,
medicines are making you feel.
Yeah, I know. And besides living in the United States, you know, you have to cook your own breakfast. You have to do everything for yourself. And it's easier to live here, you know. So I decided to live here.
Did your friends or did your colleagues dissuade you from doing
No.
alternative?
As a matter of fact, I have classmates who have cancer who are taking alternative medication too. And some of them are going to see Dr. Viloria.
Excellent, excellent. Now, how about your doctors? Your Western trained doctors, the ones who were treating you initially. Did they?
No,
what
I
they
still see the Western doctor,
Yes.
you know, because for the cancer detection,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
But I cannot. She scheduled me for a bone scan, but I cannot take it because my creatinine level was high.
Okay.
I have to lower it down to 97.
Okay.
It was 126, now it became 119. When it becomes 197, I'm going to take a bone scan.
Yes. What is your feeling about your going in to doing all these
It's
alternative
okay because
treatments?
you said if you feel better, go ahead.
Sure, sure. I mean, if it
Yeah.
works,
Because
right?
you have to
Yeah.
have faith in your doctor,
Mhm.
because if you don't have faith in your doctor, forget it.
Dr. Viloria, what do you have to say about that? A lot of Western medical practitioners, when you talk about alternative, they always frown on it. They say, these guys are not regulated. There's not, they haven't undergone enough scientific scrutiny
Yeah,
or scientific testing. There's no testing. What do you have to say about people who say this?
Well, actually, it's also coming into reality. They say medicine will involve much of lights and sounds. We're using much of lights, particularly what we're using to hear, laser bifidelation, and the sounds of the beam ray technology. That sounds. No? Now you're asking me how do I react with them? No, because actually
Skeptics. So people say that
skeptics,
you
no?
guys are not regulated, that you guys haven't undergone testing, thorough testing. Naman, before they release a drug into the market, they spend billions in R&D and testing on multiple subjects. Like that.
Well, I would say I have to listen what the people really want. No, the very reason at the very start, I'm also hesitant to practice because of my background. That's why I would like to deal more on research. And finally, when I talk on the radio, they keep on asking. So I know these people really want it, such a way not to try alternative or natural medicine. It's a matter of educating the people.
Yes, yes. How long has Mrs. Pute been being, you said since September. Now, you said it was 10 sessions of this laser biochylation, and then this negative ion generator. How many sessions did this take?
We start at about 10 sessions for each, and then we have a maintenance about 3 to 5 sessions every month.
Okay, so total of how many already for Mrs. Pute?
10 sessions already.
Yeah.
But she's going to be on a regular already. We have already some patients who are regular, particularly cancer patients, dialysis patients. We have them regular already.
So wait, dialysis patients. So even people who have problems with their kidneys.
Yes, it can immediately lower down your creatinine and increase your hemoglobin. That's the biggest problem with dialysis patients.
In the case of Mrs. Pute, you said that your levels are a bit high. No? That's why you can't get a bone scan. Okay. Now the beam ray technology, how many sessions did this take?
10, the same.
Also 10.
They actually complement each other. No, the laser biochylation for detoxification, the beam ray particularly to kill the cancer cells, and negative ion to balance the electrical flow of the body. And then of course we have to give supplements also, particularly to boost the immune system, as well as to part of the cleansing.
Okay. Mrs. Pute, you mentioned earlier that Dr. Viloria put you on a cocktail of herbal supplements.
Yes.
Okay. Now, before you went to this alternative way, did you ever take supplements?
No.
Did you ever,
No, I was taking maintenance medicine because aside from cancer, I had
high blood?
high blood and diabetes,
Yes. Ouch.
osteoporosis.
Ouch.
So I was taking 7 maintenance medicine,
Ouch.
and right now I'm only taking 3 because Dr. Viloria told me not to take the 4 others.
And let's say, are you still taking your blood pressure medicine, or you?
Yes, I'm still taking lisinopril and then Limpride.
Yeah. But 7 maintenance
Yes.
drug every day. 7. You're putting
Every day.
7
But now I'm
drugs
only
basically
taking
in your
3.
system.
That's already ordinary for the Filipinos right now. When you reach the age of 50 to 60.
Oh, and as we all know, these are chemicals.
Yes.
These are chemicals you're putting in your body, and as you said, an unfortunate side effect of this, number 1 is dependency, and number 2 is
Damage to the internal organs.
damage and toxicity. How long were you on these
Gosh,
meds?
I
now?
think since in the late 90s.
Wow. Okay. And how come you asked for her to get off these, Dr. Viloria?
Well,
Part of the detox process.
Yes. Even if you're just suffering from simple diabetes, hypertension, when you do a lot of detoxification, that will help. That will already lower those cholesterol, blood sugar, and so forth. And of course, adjustment in the diet and lifestyle is very, very important.
What kind of lifestyle change did you recommend that Mrs. Pute do? I mean,
My diet,
what
because
was your diet before?
gosh, I was eating all kinds of foods, fish, pie, everything I love to eat.
She's a dietitian.
I know.
You're a dietitian.
I know. But anyway, now I don't take processed foods. I don't take meats. The only kind of meat I take is fish,
Nice.
and vegetables
Yes, yeah.
and fruits.
Yes. But before this, yun talaga,
And
docket.
and I thought, oh my God, how will I survive this? But after doing it for a month, I don't even
Get
crave
used
for
to
it.
it.
Yes.
Except last Christmas, I mean, everybody was eating, so I had to eat.
A little
But then
indulgence
I was
every
given,
now and then, probably.
I was given some charcoal
Activated
medicine.
charcoal.
You know.
As a preventive.
How long more, I mean, this process of healing, Mrs. Pute, how long more will this take? I mean, how many
Well,
sessions more, how long will it take?
I have to stick with the, what Western medicine is doing. No, what we have is the 5-year survival rate. If after 5 years the cancer signs and symptoms are already gone, chances are the patient is already completely cured. So 5-year survival rate.
Yes. Any regrets, Mrs. Pute,
No.
for trying this? Do you wish you
I'm
tried it
glad I
earlier?
went home.
I mean, do you wish that you tried this earlier, going to
Yes.
to alternative? Huh? And you'd something you'd recommend to people with,
I
with
would.
cancer
You
as
know,
well.
I would.
Would you like to say something to the audience, Mrs. Pute, before we go?
I don't know what to say, but I think that everybody should try Dr. Viloria, especially those with cancer and those who are not happy with chemotherapy and radiation and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because he has the answer for it.
You know, I'll share something with you, Mrs. Pute, since we're talking now. Actually, my father died 2 years ago, prostate cancer, and he did everything. He did chemo, radiation, stem cell, even gene hormone therapy, cryosurgery, and nothing worked. And I saw his condition got worse and worse and worse, and
See, I was
weaker
getting
and
worse.
weaker and weaker. And really, I mean, that's why for me, I know what you're talking about.
And these things are very expensive.
Absolutely.
Chemotherapy is
Absolutely.
very
Stem
expensive.
cell, and he had to fly to China for
know.
cryosurgery. He
I
spent a
know.
small fortune. I mean,
So
it was very painful
actually,
financially.
Dr. Viloria's treatment is a lot reasonable
Yes.
and it's effective.
And if I see you, you don't look sick at all. I mean, you look
I
like you
don't
could
look
ready to go ballroom dancing or something. Do you ballroom dance, Ms. Pute?
No, I don't. My sister does.
Okay, because dance therapy, doctor, is a
Yes.
part of
Oh,
her,
yeah, I mean,
her therapy.
She participates whenever we have
Yes,
that.
Excellent,
every
excellent.
time that she has
Excellent.
a seminar, I always go.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Viloria, before we go, would you like to say something to the audience? Please tell them how to get in touch with you.
Well, our cell phone number, 0921-260-8459. And then our landline, we have 5 branches. The name of our clinic is BioVital, no? Our landline, 448-7625. Or they can visit our Facebook, Symbios Holistic and Wellness Sanctuary. I repeat, Symbios Holistic Wellness and Sanctuary. And then you can find all the activities, all the programs that we have, we offer to the patients, no?
Thank you very much, Dr. Viloria. And
Thank you.
ma'am, thank you very much for coming to the show. I mean, just your appearing here and sharing your experience, and you're looking as good as you do, I'm sure it's inspirational to many people watching now who are undergoing this terrible thing called cancer.
Yes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you
Doc,
also.
mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed Philippines Uncut this evening and learned more about wellness and vitality. Please feel free to contact Dr. Viloria anytime should you have any concerns about your health. Join us again next week here in the show where we talk about what matters to you, because you guys matter the most. See you next week. Yan,